the Positivity Wins podcast is more than a podcast. It's a community for everyone who wants to live a better version of themselves. On this podcast, we will grow together through all the ups and downs, wins and losses in life to bring more positivity into our workplaces, homes, and circles. Thank you for tuning in. If you appreciate this episode, like, share, and comment, because when positivity wins, everyone wins. Well, hello, friends. It's Ross Braun here, your host of the Positivity Wins podcast. And I hope that you're having a great day wherever you may be, whatever you may be doing. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Positivity Wins podcast. If you haven't yet already watched the intro and episode 1, please go back and do so. You don't have to, though, to watch this, so stick around. We're going to dive into 20 to 25 minutes of ways that you can turn gossip into growth. So, a little backstory, if you know anything about this mission, passion that I have, it's to give you real practical strategies in your life so you can live a more productive, positive, and successful life in all aspects of your life, not just professionally, but also personally, in your homes, in your friendship circles. Everywhere you go, I want you to be a positive light. And so that's what this whole idea of the Positivity Wins podcast is all about. And today, like I said, our topic is turning gossip into growth. And so we're getting into the thick of it right off the bat, episode 2, because this is a big one. This is a really important one. So we'll get into that. But as you know, I like to follow along in the playbook. Sports guy, you don't have to be a sports person to listen to these podcasts, but I like to have a playbook. And I think it's important that we have playbooks in our lives. That way we stay on track. That way we stay goal oriented and mission focused. But the playbook for the podcast goes like this. We've got a kickoff. We share a positive story. We get into the nuts and bolts with an Ask the Expert. And again, today, it's going to be me. No expert, no PhD here, just somebody that's passionate about supporting you and helping you and making a positive impact. And others, then we'll have the power move and the final buzzer. So this week's positive story, have you seen it? It came from college football last week. I'm a huge college football fan. Did not play football in high school because my high school was so small and we didn't have a football team back then. But I love football, love college, obviously, love the Colts here in Indiana. But last week, the story out of college football wasn't on the field during gameplay. It was actually at halftime down in LSU. And so a gentleman named Kent Browser is a retired accountant. And at 66 years old, his dreams came true. Because he had a dream growing up to be part of the LSU Marching Tigers band. And well, life happened like it does to all of us. And it seems like at some point or another. And life happened with Kent, and he didn't get to make that happen. Went on to become an accountant, lived a very successful life, but there was always something that he wished he would have done. And that was to march in the LSU brand. So when he retired, brushed up on his tuba skills. He enrolled at LSU as a 66-year-old freshman, and he tried out for the band. And guess what? Dreams came true. And last week, he got to march at halftime with the Marching Tigers, which is a big deal. And it truly was a lifelong dream come true. And so I love sharing positive stories, seeing these positive stories. And the mission, or the message behind this is to never give up. All of us have those wish we would have, could have moments in our life, or things that we just never got around to, or life smacked us in the face and we didn't get to accomplish. But it's never too late. You can be 66 years old and enroll in college and march with the LSU Tigers band. Kent can do it. You can do it. So don't give up on your dreams, no matter where you're at in life and what season. So that was our positive story. Now, let's get into it. This is something that I am just as passionate about. So And if you know me personally, you know that I am the farthest thing from a gossiper that you'll ever find. Hate gossip. It's not me. It's not how I was wired. It's not who I am. When I see gossip, I go run away from it typically, but I see it everywhere. All right. And I'm convinced that there's not a workplace, a company in America that doesn't have gossip within it. Right. Most successful companies, workplaces, it's just there. Right. You know that it's also in your families, it's in our society, your friend circles, it's everywhere. And sometimes you feel like it's just caving in all around us and we can't get out of it. So this is for you. This is for all of us. This was for me, and just like all of our topics, this is something I'm still working on and improving on. But part of my journey in life is I like to really look at my life in different buckets, right? I'm obviously the same person in all of those buckets, but all of those buckets get different amounts of time and energy from me. And so that's what we're going to do when we talk about gossip here is we're going to look at it in three different buckets. Number one is your workplace. And number two is your family. And then number three is just everywhere, society, right? And so we're going to look at what can we do personally to turn gossip into growth. So let's get to it. Number one is your workplace. All right. Like I said, it's everywhere. I don't care where you work at. The grass is not greener on the other side. It's there. I have worked several different places. I've always seen gossip. It happens. But it doesn't have to be at that level. It doesn't have to be around you. You don't have to be involved in it. And so just because it's there doesn't mean that we have to participate. And so we're going to look at some different scenarios and then we're going to look at ways that we can react or strategies that we could use to turn gossip into growth. And so the first scenario is that workroom drama. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's everywhere. Every workroom that you go into, you see two people in the corner whispering with their cup of coffee in their hand to each other. You just hope that it's not about you. It might be about you. It might be about your boss. Who knows? But it's there. It's everywhere. I'm a former educator, forever educator, but I was in the education setting and schools. I still work with a lot of schools, and I see this. Every school in America has this, the workroom drama. You also have that email. You know what I'm talking about. Typically, there's one or two people in every organization that are the email kings, and they love to stir up the drama and the gossip, be confrontational through email. Right? A lot of times, those are the people that when you pass them in the hallway or you confront them in the workroom, they take off running. Right? They suddenly have to go to the restroom or they forgot they had that meeting that they're late to, and they don't want face to face confrontation or gossip or drama, but they are the kings and queens of the keyboard. Right? They can take care of that. So we have that every place that we work with. And then how about the outsider's point of view? What others think that we're doing in our workplace that isn't really true. And so you go out to the grocery store or to your kid's athletic event and others are coming up to you and asking you about your organization, your workplace, or others. This is a big one. Others that work with you. Did you hear this? Did you hear that? Can you believe that? And then lastly, those situations that your colleagues are saying, back me up on this, right? It's not right. It's wrong. Can you believe that I was put here? Can you believe that the boss did this to me? Back me up, back me up. You know, you've been there, right? You know what I'm talking about. So those are just four pretty standard, I would say typical scenarios that we find regardless of the organization that you work with, regardless of your profession. And so what can we do? Let's look at five strategies here that we can do and use in our workplaces to turn gossip into growth. And so number one, thanks to Kelly Braun here, who taught me this one. If you do not have anything to say, answer it. Right. Don't say nothing at all. Why is that so hard for some people to just walk away? Right. And so if you're one of those people that you're like, oh, I always have to have the last word or always have to give, input in these settings, this one's for you. It is okay to not say anything at all, to just walk away from it. If you hear the gossip and you don't have anything nice to say, keep walking, grab your coffee, and go back to your office, to your classroom, or wherever it may be. Number two is that taking the high road always doesn't equal weakness. So similar to number one, taking the high road in a situation where one of your colleagues wants to be confrontational or spread gossip or whatever it may be, walking away from it doesn't show that you are a weak person or that they won in a setting. Taking the high road and just walking away says, I'm going to be the bigger person here, and this isn't for me, right? This is petty. Yeah, we're acting like, junior high students here. We got to be bigger than this. And that's what it models to everybody in the room when you do that. And then number three, this one is particularly for the email scenario. And it's called the BIF strategy. So brief, informative, friendly, and firm. And so for those emails that you get that want to just ruin your day or they're trying to cause this big ruckus, here's how you respond, right? 3 or 4 lines maximum using the BIF strategy. Be brief, keep it short, be informative. Say, okay, I acknowledge what you're doing here. Yes, this is it. Be friendly. All right. You don't have to immediately match their level, get confrontational right back to them. Be friendly. A lot of times, killing them with kindness is the best thing that you can do, and be firm. All right. Here's the solution, or here's the time that I would like to meet to discuss this. Please do not respond via email anymore until we discuss this in person. Boom, drop it. It's done. We're moving on. Now you've told them I want to meet face to face tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They better be there, right? No more emails. We'll handle this. And I'm not saying we're going to fight at recess tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm saying face to face, let's figure out the solution to this problem here. And then number four is to stand up for what is right. And so if you're the type of person that says, you know what, I do have to have the last word, or I do have to give my input on this, I don't want to take the high road. That's okay. That's not you. That's not how you're wired. Then go with number four. Stand up for what is right. If you hear gossip, say that's not true. Or stand up and say, stop what you're doing, right? You're bringing down others. You're bringing down this entire organization with what you're doing right now. It's not okay. That's not what we stand for. That's not what we believe in. And then number five, again, if folks would just learn how to do this, then we wouldn't have a lot of the issues that we have in our organization. And it's to stay in your lane. And so, you got that. Back me up, back me up. I'm sorry, this does not pertain to me at all. I'm not involved. I'm not going to get involved in this. Go to your boss, go to your supervisor, and take care of it. Right? Give them a little strategy of their own to say, don't do this, right? Don't get everybody involved, because once we start doing that, everyone's distracted. Everybody is now involved in this gossip, and it's hard to grow. And so bringing solutions to the gossip is the best way that you can show growth out of a really negative or tough situation. So that's the workplace. That's number one. Number two is our families. And this is where we start to twitch and it gets a little uncomfortable because, right, family is blood. Family is the closest to you, who you're probably around the most. But again, just like organizations, there's not a family out there that doesn't have some type of gossip or some type of controversy, whatever you want to call it, in it. And so it's okay. It's normal, right? Don't say, oh gosh, we are that family. And so here's some scenarios that, you're calling up your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, cousin, aunt, and uncle, whatever. Did you hear about so and so and talking about another family member? Did you see their social media? Did you see that post? This is my perspective, and you're not in their shoes, or your priorities don't align with their priorities. That's okay. And so those are some scenarios. Again, 5 strategies to use when it comes to gossip in your families, and how we can take this gossip and negativity and turn it into growth, into more love, into more happiness, positivity, you name it. And it's number one is no triangles, right? We get the phone tree going and the game of telephone, and it turns into this whole big deal. And I'm a huge proponent of little deal, big deal, right? I used to have a lot when it came to students and in the education setting when I was principal. But stop going around. No triangles here. Straight across, right? Go straight to the source, call them up, say, hey, what's going on? Let's solve this. Let's fix this. I think a lot of times we don't ask how or why. We just immediately jump into things. And so you make that phone call or you sit down with that family, that loved one, ask them, what did I do wrong? How can I fix this situation? How did we get here? Why are we doing this? Ask questions. Truly listen. Don't just talk the entire time. Number two is to have that hard conversation. So many times, I'm very guilty of this, but just hey, we gotta talk. Right? We gotta fix this. This isn't fun. We've been beating around the bush for weeks now, and this is what's going on. Call me up. Let's go to lunch, whatever it may be. You can have it in a lot of different settings. You don't want to, go over to their house, go out, meet in a public place, have lunch, and have the hard conversation. You don't want to live your life with regrets because tomorrow, I promise you, is not promised. And you don't want to wake up and have that regret of not fixing things, especially when it comes to your family. And sometimes you just have to agree to disagree. You know what? That's how you look at things. That's your viewpoint. This is mine. Yeah, we're related. Yeah, we're have the same DNA, genetics, but this is how I view this. And I think that's a huge problem right now with our society is everybody either has to be left or you have to be right. You know what? I don't care where you're at right now. Just be human, right? We can agree to disagree and we don't have to make it a huge ordeal. All right. And then one of my favorites, I share this all the time with professional development with schools, is to lead with love. Right. At the end of the day, we are all humans. We are family in this situation. And I'm going to love you regardless of your decisions that you made. There has to be consequences in life and all of these things. But at the end of the day, right? We're family. We are blood. I love you. Lead with that in those hard conversations, in with that in those hard conversations as well. And then respect each other's priorities. Respect the situation that they're in. It may not be what they want, but right now that's the season of life they're in, or that's the situation they're in. Have a little respect, and compassion for that. A little bit of empathy goes a long way as well. So that's family. And then the last one is just life. And so I touched on this a little bit, but in our friend circles, right? Sometimes in our friend circles, our kids are having a little tiff or a beef, and all of a sudden it comes into the parents are having a tiff or a beef. And then, I've seen so many friendships ruined because of like fourth grade drama, right? Don't let it get to that. And so we'll talk about some strategies on the grocery store. My gosh, I see this. And again, a lot of times in the grocery store, we see gossip happening, talking about family or talking about your workplace, others in your workplace. And then the last one is the worst, and that's social media. And unless you've been living under a rock, you know that our social media feeds right now have a whole lot of negativity, a whole lot of controversy, gossip, and it's not productive. And so what are some strategies that we can use here? I think I'll start by saying this. All of the strategies that we have in our organizations, in our workplace, with our families, they will work in life and in society. But a couple of specific ones, just go straight to the source. All right. Stop beating around the bush. Stop treating it like a triangle and say, I got to find out what's really happening here, and go straight to that source. Number two is the be an upstander. I think we're all guilty of this to some degree, but we see gossip happening. We see, you know, bad situations, tough conversations happening, especially on social media. And we just keep scrolling. We read it. We take the time to read it. We take the time to get into it. Maybe we don't type into it and then we just keep going. Or we hear those conversations happening in our friend circles and everywhere, but we don't take the time to say, hey, that's not true. Like, stop. This is what you're doing to all of us, to life. This is what you're doing to yourself, right? You haven't been productive at work, or you haven't been a great mom or a dad in weeks because you've been so consumed by this. And then last, my favorite, obviously that's why we're here. It's to spread positivity. I was working with Fayette County schools down in Southern Indiana this week actually, with some professional development. And at the end of the breakouts, I had a call to action for teachers. And I said this: I am sick and tired of reading the newspapers, getting on my social media, and seeing all of this negativity surrounding education. I'm tired of seeing teachers arrested for molesting athletes and students. I'm tired of seeing teachers getting arrested for being drunk at school, for having drugs, all of these things. That's what I see about education right now. And it makes me sick, right? But that's not what education is. That's three teachers in the entire state of Indiana, and there's 20,000 others that are doing amazing things each and every day in their classrooms and that are impacting students beyond measure, that are truly changing lives. And my call to action was, we've got to start spreading positivity. We've got to start sharing. You don't want to share it by yourself, start sharing about the teacher next door. And so, regardless of whether you're an educator or not, you can do this. Share the positive things that's happening in your family. Share the positive moments that your loved ones are doing, the success that your kids are having, the success that your neighbor's having, all of these things. Share positivity, right? It doesn't matter if you've got 3 likes or you've got 15,000 likes on that post. Someone saw it and they saw positivity. It may change their day, put a smile on their face, and that's all that you need to know. And so at the end of the day, this is it, right? What are we teaching today's youth? So many of us adults are gossiping, right? Are creating confrontation in all of these buckets and circles. And guess who's watching? Kids, our kids, all kids. And they're watching how we respond, how we react. One thing I say in schools is that we don't have enough empathy in today's world. Our students do not have empathy. What's the easiest way that we can teach empathy in schools? And it's to model. It's the same for you in your life. Modeling empathy, modeling the right way to treat others, modeling that positivity is more important than negativity, that growth is better than gossip. That's how we change the world, and that's how we change today's youth. So, our power move, take the high road. We already talked about it a lot, but there is a lot of power, a lot of impact in just taking the high road. And I know it's easier for some of you than others, but for those of you that say, I can't do this, try it. Your blood pressure will drop down. You'll forget about what happened if you just take the high road. And then our final buzzer, as we wrap this up today, is to do your part. Small moments. Don't have to have, like I said, posts go viral in order to have big impact. It amazes me. If you know me, in most of my platforms, you got, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers, depending on what it is. I'm not some viral influencer, but I don't care about that, right? Because I just want to have a positive impact on others. And it always amazes me when I go out and I do PD or I'm having conversations with our friends, our family, and say, I really like what you posted the other day. I was like, well, I didn't see you like it. That's not how social media works today, right? They see it, they saw it, and made their day. They thought about it. So many times people will tell me, I implemented that in my life and it's making so much positive change, right? That's the ripple effect that we want to have. That's the whole idea behind this podcast, behind this platform, behind this community that we are creating of positive people. And so that's it for this episode of Positivity Wins podcast. We're taking gossip and we're turning it into growth. Hopefully, you took a strategy, you can implement it in your life today, tomorrow. Comment, share how it's made an impact on you. I'd love to hear. I'm starting to get those, and they're truly making my day. And so let's share it out with the world, because when positivity wins, we all win.